So for your second check, are you going to try to climb still? You've made it
Yeah.
4 feet, so make another climbing check.
Okay, I'm going to roll that right now. Same thing, rope repelling, correct?
Yep. You're, and this time you also fail. So this time you're trying to make it over, and you try to put the pickaxe in one of the spots where they had anchored the stairs, and it gives way, and you all see Tubbs slip and fall into the darkness.
We're
And
holding
so,
the
but
rope,
luckily
though.
you guys have been holding onto the rope. So I need you guys to make feat of strength checks. One of you is going to be the lead, and so that'll be your role, and then the other person will assist.
Can I try
And
to help with like the things like digging in?
I
Like
mean,
try to like
you
claw
have
against.
fallen off the edge. You've fallen off the cliff face, and right now you're dangling over the air, over the.
I hate to say this, but I do believe that we already said that I was the main.
So she did assist you. Kara did
Yeah,
assist you,
someone
so
did.
you now have a 5.
On a crit 1, though. Crit 1, that's what I'm going to call them from now on. Crit 1s.
Crit ones. Unfortunately, Tubbs is a little chunkers. So he weighs a little bit more than your average Joe.
It's muscle.
Yep.
That's all that muscle I got from second breakfast.
So
That's
he
halfling.
plummets into the darkness, and you can hear him falling through the darkness. And you guys are trying to hold onto the rope, but you can't steady it in enough time. I'll give you guys one more check as he's falling to try to stop him before he hits the ground.
As
So
it
there
turns
is
out,
like
the ground was only 5 feet away.
In this case, the check will be that like if you do manage to stabilize him, it'll still do some damage to him, as it'll like jerk him to a halt, and like bruise his waist, but it might stop him from hitting the ground. Oh,
There's a nat 1 in both of them. Crit
But
1.
you
Oh,
can use
lordy.
fate for a reroll, I believe, and you do have one free use, isn't that right?
Wait, sorry, can you repeat that? I missed it.
Honor, that's right, honor.
Ow, cat. Yeah, if you have great honor, then you can get a reroll.
Well, we don't have. Nobody has great on.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has that honor at this moment.
Oh, okay, so you only get like the +1 that can translate into
Yeah.
other honor uses. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so that +1 could still be useful, and using your honor for a reroll anyway, I think is an option, isn't it?
Yeah, you could use honor to reroll here if anyone would like to.
Thank God that honor itself is a meta concept. Because I can't spare any. We've had this conversation.
Yeah.
So
what is the luck? Can I use a luck? Is that reroll or is that just a point? Can I get it? Can I use it to avoid a fumble? Basically.
you can't use it to avoid a fumble, unfortunately. It just essentially gives you a bonus, so it's like it tacks on top of your roll, but it doesn't avoid your roll of fumbles.
Okay, then I probably really can't do anything.
So you guys see Tubbs tries to climb over this. He can't get enough footing in the wall, and he falls. And you guys scramble at the rope trying to hold on to it, but it's just, and he collapses into the ground.
And today's a hard day.
So we'll do the damage for him, and hopefully we can reconnect to him on Discord since he's coming in and out on Discord. While we take a 5-minute biological break. Does that work? 5 minutes?
Yep, that works.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I've been here, guys.
No, I was making a joke for before we lost you. Now we've lost you.
Oh.
That's why I said, now we lost Tubbs, but not on Discord.
All right, 5 minutes. Did the cat attacking my arm get caught on camera?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, the damage coming up is going to be 3d12 points of damage.
So it's entirely possible you could take 3 points of damage.
It
True
is.
that.
Or 36.
Or
Depends on
more
how you wanna
with
look at it,
penetrating
yeah.
dice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen people survive.
I don't think it bodes well for you there, Tub, because he rolled 39 points of damage on me. So
To be
So
fair, though, that was just crazy, though.
that was
Right.
just crazy. So it is afternoon, and Connor died. So this is a tall one for a short one.
nice.
All right.
He was a tough little guy, just not that tough.
R.I.P.
Getting chewed in half by a hippo was a little bit beyond his capabilities.
So for the damage coming in on Tubbs after he falls,
Yes. Let's see the damage.
29 points of damage.
Okay.
Are you wearing padded armor?
I'm wearing something. I just forgot what. Give me one moment.
You're wearing leather. So
Leather
padded
armor,
armor, yeah, padded armor is the only armor that protects you from fall damage. So this damage goes straight as a huge 29-point wound.
What is your
What are
HP?
you at?
Are you still alive?
I don't even know where my health is.
You keep track of it in the wounds area.
Yes, you'd add one wound of a size 29.
I mean, like, where is it at? Like on the character sheet? I don't even know where that's at. I never got injured.
Under your combat profiles on the left, down below health and defense, there's wounds.
Okay, I see that now. Yeah. And how much did you say I took? I'm sorry.
And when did you ever do healing day? Did you ever do your days to heal the last time you got hurt, or like the last time we rested last night?
I would assume so.
All right. So you would add a 29-point wound to your character sheet.
It says maximum HP 27 if you.
Yep. So below that, under wounds. So under like wound 2 or wound 3, you're gonna put points 29 and then days to heal 29. Right. So what are you at for hit points?
-4.
So you fall into the darkness and everything's quiet for everyone else. What are you guys going to do? You guys
Listen.
hear maybe Tubbs, and then like a thud as he hits the ground.
Listen for breathing.
Roll listening checks, yeah. It's tough because you can hear like kind of the echoes of water down there, but you're fairly certain you don't hear anything. You don't hear moans of pain. It's just everything. It's gone quiet. The rope is no longer coming out of your hands, though, so you know he hit the bottom.
Oh, so the rope is, so we're fairly certain then that the... Oh, wait. He tied it around his waist, and we're still holding on to the rope, so that then the bottom
Yep.
has to be at least 50 feet down.
Yep.
God damn, if there's even a chance that he's alive down there.
I mean, he's still attached to
He's
the
got a
rope.
fool, yeah. Oh, I can't say nothing. Sorry.
Anyone good at climbing? Could climb down?
No, I was
Climb down the rope.
I was really just thinking that, but we gotta reel him back up, I think.
Use him as
Yeah.
an anchor for the other side of the rope.
Yeah. One of us would have to hold it.
But, I think we pull. All of us pull, and we just try and heft him up.
Hang on. What about the stairway had just given way, right? It could be loose here too. If we tried to pull them up, we could loosen the stairs and we could fall too.
I mean, they didn't let go when we were trying to catch him.
True. Maybe one of us could go down there and try to do first aid or something.
Right, but the fear there is that what would happen to us was what happened to Tubbs.
The fear of trying to pull him up, though, is we pull him up partway, fumble again, and drop him again.
It'll just take one successful roll and you'll heave him up.
Sure, and we only failed 4 times in a row, so possibly. I would side on this. I would err.
Well, it's up to you.
Yeah, I would err on the side that doesn't get another one of us killed. So I say, let's haul him back up.
Okay. I hope.
All right. So roll a feat of strength. So who's going to be the lead on this?
I mean, despite failing every roll, I am still the strongest.
All right. So if Connor or not Connor, if Horst and Kara roll feat of strength, if you get over 10, you'll add 2 to his roll. All right. And Horst, do you got a feat of strength there?
Yeah. I got to click on my character though, right?
Yeah,
yep.
click on your token and then you hit the button.
Yeah.
All right. So perfect. So you're going to add 4 to yours, Theta. All right. So you got an 18. And yeah, so you guys start hauling and you're starting to pull him up. So while this is happening, Cody, your character is bleeding out as you're negative. You're at -4 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do some of these death saves. So your con is a 12. Your hit point is a -4. So you have a +8. I have a +11. So does anyone have first aid in the... Does
do.
Horst have first aid? Well, aside from the person that's down.
Just wake me up. I'll do it myself.
No. I have divine lore. So I'm
Okay.
thinking maybe I'll
Pray over him.
or search through his things. Maybe he's got like something.
So what that means is no one's going to be able to help you, Cody. So it's just going to come down to if you can get lucky or not. So
Mm-hmm.
roll a d20 and add 8.
Heyo.
Oh, so I got a 19. Your D20 plus 8 penetrates. So you can roll a D6 penetrating -1. And as long as you get 1, you're safe and you've stabilized.
You said 1d6 -1 finish.
Yeah, you could just roll a 1d6 -1. It's just as long as you get a total of 1 or more. So if you roll a 1 on the d6, then you haven't stabilized. But if you get a 2 or higher. However you want to do it. If you want to roll a d6 or if you want a d6 -1, and then
Basically, just as long as you don't roll a 1.
as long as you don't roll a 1 on a d6, Tubbs has stabilized and is not bleeding out.
The spirit of Connor is with you.
You got it. Yeah. So you guys haul at Tubbs, and I mean it takes a while, but you manage to get him up and up onto the stairs. He looks in bad shape. I mean he's not responsive. He's bloody. He's probably got splinters in him from where he landed on the remains of the staircase that fell. His mining equipment is probably still down there, but he looks alive. He looks like he's stabilized.
And is that like... How long... I mean, it means he's not bleeding out, but how long until he's, like, conscious again or something?
Well, his hit points are -4. He's got a 2-point wound that'll heal, but he's also got a wound that's 29. So in order for him to be conscious, that's going to be 29 plus, I mean, 30, 60 days until he is at 0.
Christ. Okay, I'm gonna carry him. And I'm going to suggest to everybody else that we head back to the top of the mine, at which point I'm then going to reconvene with Dallon and say that I think I need to carry him back to the boat.
That's a fair assessment. I have some honey brew. We could try to trickle that down his throat and see if it helps him.
We're talking 2 months of treatment versus a drink that has only worked once.
That's true. If he did manage to succeed on a honey brew,
It would save 24 days for exactly 1 point.
Yeah, for 1 point, it would save. Yeah.
Not to mention, we can also try first aid, which would also save another 20 days as well.
Do you know first aid?
Does anyone have first aid?
Nope.
Then no, we can't try first aid.
If the honeybrew works, then would I be able to first aid myself?
Only if you became conscious, but you're at -4, so you'd have to gain 4 points of healing from the honey brew, in order to become conscious, and then you could first aid yourself.
Conversely, we could get the man in a coma drunk.
There's not really a downside.
Well, I mean, how many things of honey brew do you all have left?
I have 2.
And Kara?
I have at least 1 more.
Yeah, do you guys want to move back up to the campsite at this point?
Yeah.
Up here?
Yes.
And if you took Connor, his wineskin was full, basically. So
Buried with it.
if you
Oh, yeah.
if you have his, then
Pretty sure we buried you with it. I mean, conceivably, there is enough there between the 2 or 3 that you 2 have, that if you rolled well enough, which never happens, we could do this. Literally, you would have to get, I don't know, 1 2 and 2 1s. The combinations there exist.
Alright, so go ahead and take 2 brew, Connor, and, Cody, and, go ahead and roll. See what you get.
So what should I roll for this?
So it'd be
1d4
minus 2.
See, I knew I was right in trying to save them, but let's see if it actually pays off at all.
Oh,
wow, the best one
Wow.
yet.
So that's 2 points of healing. So right now he's theoretically at -2.
Hmm.
One thing is, I don't know if the healing goes evenly across. I'd have to double check, but I think the healing goes evenly across his wounds. So it would reduce his 29-point wound to a 28. And then so right now he's at -2. That's basically all that matters. Are you going to give him another honey brew?
Yeah, I'm using both of mine here.
All right, so let's see that magic roll again, Tub.
Close.
Real close.
Right.
You're
You could
there.
potentially become conscious in a couple of days.
So now you're at now you're at -1. Does anyone have another one?
Yeah, but if that went to his major wound, then he'd be awake in a day, right?
That's true.
Yeah, so let's check out what the guidelines are real quick. See how
Yeah.
this is going to pan out.
It doesn't say. So it says the sweet tasting lager restores 1d4 -2 hit points per drink to a maximum of 5 hit points in any 24-hour. It's very tasty and easy on the system. The hit points are restored 30 minutes after inhibiting the brew. So since healing potions do it evenly, if you drink it, I'm going to say this does it evenly as well. However, when he rolls just 1, he can choose where it goes to. So the 2 is going to evenly help both his wounds, right? It'll help his
Yeah.
2-point and his 29. But the 1 he can choose to apply just to the 29-point wound.
Yeah, I can only see that becoming complicated in the future where there's like, all right, there's 5 wounds and you have 2 points to spread evenly. Where do they go? It's
Mhm.
like,
Yeah. You can at that point you can delegate where they go to. I don't mind.
mhm.
So he's now down. You're now down to a 27-point wound, which will take 27 days to heal, and a 1-point wound that'll take 1 day to heal.
Where did I get the 2 wound from? I don't remember that. I'm not sure. Was that from the boat?
I think that was. It must have been a while ago.
Could have
Yeah,
been
it
from
might
the
have been.
village.
Yeah, it might have been from that village in Iraq. It might have been a really big wound in Iraq, and it's slowly been healing this whole time.
Would have been when we were doing the bugs? Because I have already been in combat.
Yeah, that must have been then.
So wouldn't it be here by now or no? Because this must have happened when I wasn't here, so I don't remember getting injured.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
it's.
Oh, right,
It-
because Griffin was very much
Yeah.
about using you that way.
I mean, I don't mind. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, it probably happened then, and we've forgotten to, or we haven't healed, or haven't
Yeah,
checked
'cause
in on
nobody
that.
said anything. I was like, oh. okay,
Actually,
yeah.
yeah, if you haven't paid attention to it in a few days, then maybe it has actually healed. Who knows?
Yeah, that's up to you, Liam.
But we could always just take you downhill, set up a camp like right outside the mine. Honestly, bring
That's
stuff
possible.
up, and then rest for the night. And by the time morning comes, you should be at least awake.
Yeah, that's fine. I
Yeah,
was talking
that
about to
works.
make sure that it works out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
I'll
works.
stamp out the fire here. I'll go out there. I'll go downhill and I'll bring up all of Aries' stuff. I'll pick up some firewood too and have like several bundles with me in case we want to start extra fires somewhere.
Just be like, I
Okay.
just when I wake up.
And we'll set up
Right.
on the top of the mountain.
All right, so now you guys are over here on top of the mountain. Are you guys going to set a watch again?
Yep, we're gonna set a watch. I'm setting up my tent.
O'Connor didn't even take a watch. Is Orst going to take a watch, or is he going to bow out of that duty?
I'll take a watch.
Good, you can take a watch that's currently missing.
Yeah, right now it doesn't look like there's one missing. You've got the order is Ari. Oh yeah, Tubbs is missing.
Tubbs would be missing in this case.
So Horst is taking your position there, Tubbs, on the second watch.
Somebody looks down at
So you
Tubbs'
guys-
unconscious body. It's your watch. I'm going to bed.
It's time to watch.
Just put me out in a field.
So that night, you guys. I mean, it's about midday, mid-afternoon when you guys kind of call it a quits to set up this camp, and you guys take your time to, ferry stuff up and down and set up a nice little camp up here on the top of the hill. Are you going to do it in the open here, or are you going to try to do it in the entrance to the cave? Um,
I'm good
Good
doing
question.
it here.
I mean, it's
So you want to do it like right up against the entrance then?
Yeah, so we can keep an ear out for both the cave itself and the way going up.
Okay. We could
Okay.
probably take a couple of the carts and make a small perimeter at the cave too, just in case.
yeah.
Just have
You
the
guys can
legs
set up
strung
some
up
stuff.
across this a little bit.
Yeah, kind of a little bit of a barricade in case anyone comes in that direction. At least they might
Yeah.
make noise coming over it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that day passes. You guys set up anything you kind of want to set up and get yourself nice and situated. And that night passes by uneventfully. You have a beautiful view of the stars up here on top of this hill. It's rather nice. It's gorgeous. If you weren't if you weren't hurt and your friend wasn't so severely injured, maybe it would be a nice moment even. So since this is the first time you're hurt, Cody, essentially what you do is you go into your wounds and you see how it says days to heal. You'll reduce each of those days to heal by 1 anytime you have a day of healing.
Okay.
And if it ever hits 0, then the wound heals by 1 point. So right now you've got a 1 point wound with 1 day to heal. So that 1 point wound after this night of rest goes away. And then on your 27 point wound, 27 days goes down to 26 days. So that's what you're shitting at right now. So in the morning, maybe in the middle of the morning, Tubbs, you wake up. You're at 0 hit points, which means you're conscious, but you can't. You can only kind of move at a crawl around places. You talk at a kind of a maybe a whisper, and you can't do any strenuous activities. What would you all like to do?
Oh man.
Well, now that Tubbs is finally awake, I think it's time for us to at least consider our plans and probably also eat some food. So I'm gonna mark that off real quick. Got 1 fewer day to heal and 1 fewer day of food. So Ari, you have all of your torches. We can use one of those, and we can try doing what we were thinking of before. We can go ahead, operate the winch, and take you down there to explore.
Now that
Tubbs.
the stairs is no longer an option, correct?
Yes. So that is all that we'll have to do. And then hopefully we can spend enough time down there to see if we can find anyone. So far, given the amount of noise we've made and the lack of noise back, I think it's probably safe to say no one's alive there. Or at least, well, not that is immediately apparent. So, I have some bundles of firewood. Tubbs, since you're injured, maybe you should go ahead and handle the winch.
I mean, he can't handle that sort of even that sort of strenuous activity. Like the most he can do is kind of crawl around and like speak at a whisper.
Then I'll stay with you to guard and protect you then, to make sure nothing happens.
I'll show you.
And
the
I'll
way.
operate the winch. And that means the 3 of you will have to go down.
Yep.
So if we are willing to proceed into the cave again, the lawn will go ahead, set up a campfire in there at the top of the cliff near the winch. And he'll stand by and ready for when everyone is ready to go down.
Okay, so I've added that campfire in there if you guys want to move in.
Yeah, I just gotta wiggle my way through.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Yeah, the wench is like about here. I'm gonna go ahead and roll my check just to see how Thrawn feels about being even this close.
Okay.
How is it supposed to work? Am I rolling under or over?
You want to beat
Or
it.
opposed?
Yeah. So,
All right, so Thrawn
yeah.
is not very happy with this, and he's actually hugging up against the winch.
Yeah, so you probably see Thalon like going up to the platform and like kind of like look over the edge and then like stay to the very middle and skirt around, like
Thrawn
always
is
holding
actually
on, like clutching onto the wood.
Thrawn is starting to like take the belt from his robe and like wrap it around one of the legs of the winch.
Kara's just like, oh, it was heights after all. Okay.
I don't know what you're speaking of.
Well, he's not going to work up here. And I point to Thalen. So maybe somebody else needs to stay.
I'll be fine up here. I have a crossbow, and presuming that you light up something downstairs, it should be very visible to me.
How you gonna get us back up if you can't?
Thrawn taps the winch.
You do is you tie all your ropes around the various parts of the winch, and then you pull on those ropes from real far away.
You set up a super elaborate pulley system where he's actually down at the bottom of the mountain. Thousands
Yeah.
of spools of rope.
But yeah, Thrawn is holding close to the winch. He's not going to go any further, but he will do this much.
Okay.
He's definitely not going to start a fight on it.
So are you going to start wenching it up?
Oh, I thought it was already up.
It's
But
at the
yeah,
bottom.
then I'll go ahead and bring it up first then.
So you guys are starting to you're starting to pull the winch.
Mhm.
You realize you're not strong enough to lift the winch just by yourself.
What if I was twice as strong as if I had a feat of strength?
So the problem with feat of strength is it's going to take a bunch of time to do it, and feat of strength is like one action.
Right. I thought that would like apply to like the entirety of the action of lifting it up or something. But
Yeah,
okay.
because it'll take mechanically in order to lift the winch, you need a strength of 15 to operate it with nothing on it. Two people can work at the same time on each winch.
I'm just barely strong enough for that.
Actually, I'll say
Oh,
your feat of strength is
little
enough to
over.
actually to operate it.
Okay.
I'll say if you cast feat of strength, it'll work.
Right.
So
I'll
that'll
do
give you
that
a
to like
strength
save
of-
Connor the dang it, to save Tub the injury of getting up to do the work for
Mhm.
it. So I'll go ahead and just actually, while everyone's here, they could probably help me bring it up, and I'll save some energy for now.
Yeah. And so mechanically, the way it works is you can have a strength of up to 30 working on it. And the way you do it is if you have a strength of 14 and someone else has a strength of 5, if you're both working on it, you have a strength of 19.
Mhm.
So you just add the strength together. For
Yeah,
every
and-
point of strength above 15, you can support an additional amount of weight, 100 pounds of weight. So like if you have a strength of 16, you can winch an additional like a person that weighs 100 pounds. So if you have a strength of 17, you can do 200 pounds on this winch. So,
Okay.
Okay.
So
we might have to pick.
We're gonna have to go down one at a time.
Yeah, either one at a time, or we might have to pick.
Well, if I'm using my feat of strength, how much does that get me? 400
an
pounds?
18, an 18. So that'll be 300.
Okay. So that could probably be a handful of you.
So
I'm just checking strength.
Once-
And Tubbs
So-
can't participate at all, correct? Or
Not
Like,
yet,
if-
no.
even if the winch is down low enough where I could hoist it up or try to hang on to it.
Yeah, at the moment you need to be at 1 hit point before you can start
Gotcha,
doing
so-
anything but like light light activity.
Yeah, if you
Because
had
you
that healing
another-
spell, now would be the time. But
Yeah. Because you know how Tubbs is. He doesn't want to just sit there.
I'll
Yeah.
offer you Tubbs a honey brew if you want to try it.
yeah,
Okay,
one
so-
more. If that actually brings them up, it could be perfect.
Yeah, if you gave him 1 hit point, then that would be.
Rest
Yeah,
enough to
go
get
for it.
him drunk. I know your plan.
She's got an eye on Tubbs. She's just trying to find out what his limit is.
I'm a dwarf. We don't have limits.
It's the 1d4 -2 if you want to roll.
Yes.
Oh, you're
Nice.
the best at this. It's probably because you're a dwarf and you're used to drinking.
Yeah.
So Tub, your
It's my healing
wound.
potion.
Yeah. You're down
yeah.
you're awake. You're at 1 hit point. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So if Tubbs is
I'll help
up,
him.
then together we can operate it with 26 strength,
That's true.
which would be 1,000 pounds, which is probably more than enough for 3 people.
That's true. When you're winching it up the first time, it seems like it moves at about a speed of 5 feet per second, and it takes about 35 seconds for it to raise up to where you guys are.
Is there anything wrong with it when we look at it?
Yeah, there does not look like it. Just looks like a wooden platform.
Let me take another peek at it, guys.
But one thing is, it's super loud. Is while you're doing it, as you're cranking it, it's grinding, and the sound echoes through the cavern. So if anyone's down there, they've heard you.
There you go. If they didn't hear all the previous noise.
Yeah, I'm guessing it wasn't quiet when the stairs hit the ground and then Tub hit the ground.
No, not at all.
I like that Tub hit the ground.
I'm gonna hop on.
Where are we? Oh, you moved my token. So it's like my vision just went away.
I moved you.
Yeah.
So Kara, Ari, and Horst are getting on the platform.
No, I suggest we do this one at a time.
With me and Tubbs, we have more than enough strength for all of you, I think.
You say that.
Are you carrying a 500-pound load?
I don't know. Did I take all my stuff with me?
That's
the
your
grandpa?
question.
Yeah, probably.
And of course, Horst, you're not bringing your entire cart with you right this second, correct?
Oh no, the cart's outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't bring it in here.
I'm just saying, we know with 100% certainty that you cannot fail this.
Yes, absolutely, and I guarantee it.
I'm not asking you to guarantee it. I'm asking the person who knows the rules of the game.
With your rope use checks, you guys think it's safe.
Tubbs thought it was safe. Not an hour ago.
I also looked at it and I thought it was safe. I also had a very good use rope check on that.
You've been very
Yeah, you
weird
guys-
all day.
You guys can stand on you guys all could even move onto the lift, and it creaks and groans, but aside from that, it's sturdy.
Look,
It seems
it's
to be sturdy.
it's very simple, I guarantee you. You see how the winch operates. It has these latches so that when it goes too far without a mechanical thing pressing on it, it won't open up. You have to actually open it up for it to proceed. It is meant to catch it from falling, specifically to prevent these kind of things.
Like I'm like whispering to you, all right, just let him lower us down. We don't have to listen to him. We
Sure.
do have torches.
If the
by the
thing
way, right?
collapses, we will never listen to anybody ever again.
You go down first if you
It's a
want to,
blessing.
Ari. I'll take the torch and go down and make sure. I'm 100 pounds.
Yeah, we have multiple torches, right? In case this one goes out.
Yeah, no, he
Okay.
brought my stuff back with him. I have 12 torches.
Nice.
I'll also have my crampons, my rope, the crowbar. I'll have everything on me now.
Awesome.
Now,
Yes, now, because I didn't expect us to immediately go to the cave and go down all the way through it. Also, I didn't expect somebody to do some crazy stunts.
So what do you
Who's
say?
coming down? Yeah, is it just me and Horse? Are you coming too, Ari?
Well, I mean, I don't want to leave you two alone.
Then
So I
let's
guess
get it
live
over with.
together, die
Yeah.
together.
Down you go once more to that darkness deep as hell. The lawn will start the wench.
All right, so you guys crank, and so you guys hear the cranking of this wench, and it slowly it shakes and rattles at first, and then slowly starts lowering you down. It it takes 35 seconds to do this, and so as you're getting lowered down, I mean, all you can hear it echo. As you're going down, you can hear the water, like the roaring of the water, get louder and louder and louder. And as you move down, you can see the rope above you shaking with the weight, and the lift shakes just a little bit, and you're all just a little bit nervous, but it makes it to the ground, and you finally it slowly settles down. And I will now move you guys to this map. So you guys are now here. So where you set down on the bottom of the cavern, you can see next to you is another wench, where it looks like if you were down here, you could also crank it. And you see there's another line of rope leading up. So it looks like you could. Yep, there you.
I think
Yeah,
my roll 20 is just super slow mo right now.
Yeah, I've shifted you guys over. I've got Ari, Kara, and Horst on the map. Can everyone see anything?
I wouldn't mind some vision too, given that I'm at least
Yeah.
overseeing the area. I'm just not
Okay.
going to move from that room.
I'm giving you guys some vision.
So,
Thanks.
with your fear, you're peering over the edge of a wooden platform, is what you're telling me.
I'm currently tied to the winch and slowly unbuckling myself. I could at least see a little bit downstairs, I assume.
You and Tells
Especially
are
now that there's light.
So what can we see?
So the tunnel around you is a tall cavern, and above you, obviously, it rises up into the darkness, and very faintly you can see that soft green glow. Somewhere, from what you can see, you could make out what looks like a fast river moving from left to right. In between you, you can make out what looks like large piles of uh, of of rocks, like loose rocks and rubbles. Uh, yeah, there's where you are, you can kind of smell a sharp, musty wind that blows from some passageway that you can't quite make out. However, most of your attention is focused towards right here, what looks like a dark pit in the center of the room. And you can see what looks like the water that you can make out is rushing, maybe some river from moving from left to right and falling down. And that's where all the noise is coming from, is what looks like a waterfall in the middle of this cavern floor. And it's kind of there's a slight mist in the air, and you can see a lot of the rocks, and the cavern floor around you is damp and moist.
Tracks?
Make a tracking check.
While you're doing that, I gotta say, the first thing that grabs my attention is that you've designed this map for the platform to have crashed into the ground. That's the first thing that strikes me.
You're looking around and kind of observing kind of looking for tracks. You're not seeing a lot of tracks, as it's mainly just hard stone on the ground. You're seeing rubble here and there, but you're not seeing a lot of dust to leave tracks in.
Worst wants to make his way over towards that chasm.
Yeah, and the stairs would be in this direction somewhere. Oh, this actually shouldn't be. Whoever drew this, I don't know who it was. It's me, but whoever did that, didn't draw the chasm as a put a obstruction of sight on the chasm. So this gap right here is where the water is plummeting down even lower, and you can see it just kind of falling into darkness as you get closer. And this right here is a support column.
Is there anything else in the area as we make our way around?
I mean, there's
The
that giant
support
thing.
column?
Yeah, that over there that you can make out looks like some sort of the rubble from the collapsed stair. And to the left, well, wait right there where you guys are as you're moving. So as you're moving through, keep yourself. So as you guys are you guys have made it to this cavern. It looks like to the south, which is in this direction here, you can make out what looks like another cavern exit. This one looks in the distance that you can see. It looks like this is not a natural cavern exiting. It looks like it has actually been carved into the stone, as it's got a little bit more straight wall. It's got straighter walls as if it was carved out. However, to the right, you can also make out right here, I believe, you can make out what looks like some sort of another entrance that's somewhat covered by looks like a makeshift and a ratty curtain. And there's just a faint bit of light peering out from that curtain. And as you kind of note that, I want everyone to make observation checks, actually. It's an average difficulty. Right. So no one actually noticed it, but as you kind of like maybe you catch a little bit of light, but the main thing is as you look to the right, you see the curtain is thrown open, and out from the curtain emerges 4 creatures. These creatures are short, maybe just a little bit taller than Horst is himself, and they've kind of got molted green-gray skin, and they're wearing an assortment of loincloths and not much else aside from that. But in their hands they carry one of them's got they've each got a short sword and small shields as they step out. You guys don't know what these creatures are since none of you have monster lore. But yeah, these creatures step out and they howl and cry and they point their weapons towards you. Roll initiative.
Hello, friends.
Now, I
Yeah,
never.
you're more than welcome to say that.
I never put my sword and shield away.
That's true.
No.
Yeah. So you guys were down here and you were cautious. So I'll say you guys can roll d10s for initiative.
I'm gonna say, ho ho, hey, I got mining equipment.
Ever the salesman.
It's right up there, my friends. They help bring it down. Do they understand me or?
It either looks like they don't understand you or they don't care.
Wow, they've got very
Outside
limited
of player
class.
knowledge, they are goblins.
I think it means Sturgis.
Yes, they are Sturgis. Kara, Ari, it does not look like Hurst that you. Oh yeah, you haven't rolled initiative yet.
Right. What do I roll?
Roll a d10.
Plus your initiative modifier. There's a button on your
Yeah,
sheet.
unless you have a bonus.
That's -4.
Oh, you have an improved initiative die, so
Yeah.
you're gonna roll a d8, and then just hit that roll button next to initiative.
All right.
All right. A 4. Oh,
Am
that's
I
the
on?
highest initiative you could have rolled. So second 2, they're throwing open the curtain and like you can hear them kind of like talking amongst each other and getting ready to attack. Kara, you're the first one to react. You see kind of maybe it's the curtain thrown open and a little bit of light from coming. Let me see if I can. Oh yeah, let me open up this curtain. There's just a little bit of light being cast out from that. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Are you saying
There.
something? Oh, I
Oh no,
see.
sorry. I was just moving the dynamic lighting. That was the curtain. It was giving me trouble. But yeah, let me see. Can you see that light there? Yeah, you can kind of make out on the other side a small room with a table on it and a lantern placed there. And it looks like that's where they came out from.
Okay.
One thing is this battle map does not have this grid is built onto the battle map and not through Roll20. So just be aware.